Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated, checking out Uncarigvur, the great rainy island fortress of the Scathach, the Pirates of Albion, in the Anno 117 demo. I've been having great fun with this over the last couple of days, getting to grips with the basics and the advanced production chains. And what I'm going to try and do today is get through as much of the Celtic production chain as possible. To do so, we will have to remember the famous saying of the great Roman Emperor, Caesar, who proclaimed, "Gotta go fast." Because we only have an hour to get as much done as possible. What I have found so far is getting down 3 lumber areas, 3 wood cutting areas, is... I won't say it's the best way to go, but we do have, as the Celts, we have a very hefty demand for wood. It is well known that the Celts love their wood. Liking that feature that lets you actually just build around the buildings that you put down, instead of having to actually drag around them. And we'll connect up to our dock. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much build in this area over here, and that will allow us to connect into the marshes. Very interesting kind of building chains in the marshes. And because of the marshes, we have a very hefty demand for wood. Do you know what? We might come off at a bit of an angle. It's a small thing, but I am enjoying the diagonals. I am enjoying the ability to go at angles. Right. Our waiter residence. Now we're going to have to get a good chunk of these down. There we go. We're going to need to get a lot of these down, and these need food of some make, shape, or form. So we can click on our waiters, and we have 2 different options. And this is also a really interesting new way of dealing with the demands of the people. So far in the Anno series, they need everything at every tier, pretty much. There are certain things that you can provide additionally. But here we can either provide cockles or eels. And cockles will provide happiness, eels will provide money. I don't know where the eels get the money from, but the eels provide extra money. Fair play to them if the eels are out working. So we're going to get that cockle farm, cocklery, cockle picker down in this area. And for the eels, we would actually need to build those out in the marshes. So I'm going to get that done shortly. We don't need to, but we will get some eel gathering going. And you know what? We'll get some more houses. Because we need to get out of debt. Well, we're not in debt, but we're going to be in debt soon. Now, this is where some of the kind of the more stranger shenanigans of the angled roads come in. So you can actually see here there's a bit of a gap. I don't think that's a big deal. I have been seeing sometimes that roads don't fully connect up. So if you try and join up, if you have a road and you try and join up another road to it, sometimes it doesn't actually do so. And we should be in a position, we're just 1 piece of timber short, that's why we need all that timber. So for our next buildings, we need 20 waithers. And another bit of a departure from previous iterations of the Anno series is that until we start producing food, we're not going to get any people in. So the people are not moving in until we have food for them. Ugh. I have something around, I think it's a 2070 Nvidia. It's not struggling, but you're going to see some strange things. We'll wish him well. Take his 10 eels.
your river run clear.
Same to you, my man. Same to you. Right. So we're getting some people in. We might as well. Head off in this direction. So, a chunk of coins. Now, as we come in here, we are told that we need to use up timber. And that is why I have 3 down here. We can already do with a 4th one, because all of these roads going out into the marsh, they require timber. Now, before that, we have managed to get together enough support for the public services. So again, with our traditional Anno games, first thing we need to get down is the market and build our houses around that. Now we can just start building our houses and providing either a market or a bard's hearth. So the bard's hearth is going to provide happiness. The market will provide money. That makes sense. We'll see about getting that market down first of all. And there's that bit of a road causing trouble. If we get it there, it gives us a fairly large radius that we can put houses in and get a benefit from. And we're actually already up onto our next chain. So, fashion. So, reed shoes or tunics. Now, the reed shoes will keep the Celtics happy. They will keep the Celtic people happy. The tunics will also keep the Celtic people happy, but also the Romano-Celtic. Right. Better get some eels. Somebody wants to grab some eels. Now, let's see if we can line this up in some way that makes sense. So putting this here will give us 218 space to pick from, out of 140 which is needed. So we have to kind of provide space for the eels, because the eels have a job. The eels make money, so they need this area to go to work in, do their job. We're not going to be able to build any bit of a road. Never mind. So what I was planning on doing was getting down a warehouse, probably here. And can you actually... So you can't template these dirt roads. Not really a dirt road, but these walkways. So in the same way that you can template houses if you don't have what they need. But you can't do that here. So we are well and truly out of range of a warehouse. And while we're doing nothing else, which is a bad thing in this demo, we will take our ship, the Rick. Moranis. We will take our ship, the Rick Moranis, and we will set sail. Is it in this direction? Oh no, I've forgotten. I'm going to go in this direction. So this is why the Celtic production chain is a bit tougher, because of the... Well, it's one of the many reasons. The heavy demand, the heavy need for timber, for wood in the early stages. Is that connected up? They're happy enough to jump across the bit of a gap that's there, so do you know what? We'll let them. We'll let them. We'd want to get a few more houses in, but we'd also want to keep them in range of our market. I'd say we could probably get another row in. And as always, these people have requirements. So these guys are getting one of the public services that they need. They only need one. This one is getting 2 different types of food. They're very happy. They are getting no clothes though. They are naked as they try and grab some eels. So right here in front of the warehouse, I'm going to drop down a reed gatherer, and then I'm accidentally going to try and drop down another one on top of it. We need to provide 140 soggy mire. And it would be handy if we could kind of see the radius of our eel pickers. We don't want to interfere with the eels. That's not our job. It's somebody else's job to interfere with the eels. Now, it doesn't really make a huge difference, because we can actually sacrifice some of the region that the eels are occupying. And we actually have managed to avoid it completely. That is pure and utter skill. So we have our reed picker down, and of course that is gathering one reed every minute, and we have a shoe weaver that will process one shoe every minute. So it's going to be 2 minutes before they have enough shoes for everyone. And what we can do is actually, instead of building production chains very close to each other, by dropping our shoemaker in the middle of our very uniform village for a Celtic village, we're going to get a benefit. Increased happiness. So previously you would have basically kept all your production buildings outside of your city. There was no need for them to be in the city, and indeed they would have been taking up valuable space that the marketplace could have been affecting. But now production buildings, some production buildings have positive impacts, some have negative. What do we have over here? We have an island with a tin deposit, granite deposit, pony. It has pony fertility. It has fertile ponies. Oh no, it's one of those games. So some really interesting potential production chains down the line. Resin, barley, ponies. What more do we want in life? Rick Moranis, well done. You found the ponies. That's what we wanted. Job done. Come back home. Actually, there's a trader over in this direction. I don't think we'll get to him. Now, I actually forgot that we need our workshop to be within range of or we need a workshop in range of our new shoe factory. I could have moved it to down here, as in I could have put the shoe factory down here, but to be in range of the dock, of the trading port, but we have a chunk of work that we want to do in this region, so we'll put it there. And actually, while we're waiting to get the production up and running here, I've put down a few more houses, but they aren't all connected. What I'm going to do is get some tunics up and running. So we have a hemp farm, and we can put that... Do you know what? We might as well actually put it down here at the dock for the fun of it. And again, we have 1 unit of hemp being produced. We have a spinner, and this is going to provide income in the region that we place it. So I could actually place that, we'll say, right above the shoe factory. I'm just trying to see where we'll bring in the most amount of citizens. I'm probably going to go over in this direction.
I did not think they would fight. Among the weeds,
So we'll stick that down there.
Ithacus, Tarragonus, Taurus.
Yep. There's that man. Now we're still waiting on some clothing to get out to our citizens before we can upgrade them. So what I'm going to do is get down, we might as well, the Bard's Hearth. So if I put it there, there's a good chunk of people that it won't reach. Here, we're in a bit better of a position. So we need to bring a road across. So a fairly large road into the back of into the front of the Bard's Hearth. Now, it's taken us a while longer than I would have liked, but we are in a position to upgrade the first of our citizens. And we must choose our destiny. Romano-Celtic, which will give us these options, or Celtic. Now, in the full version of the game, you'll actually be able to have both. But here we can only have one. Cheese, cloaks, chariots are what the Celtic smiths want. So we will forge ahead with the smiths. I get it.
No, that bothers me. What you just did.
He's not happy. To hell with him. Damn him to hell. So this brings up a new menu. And the smiths, they want cheese. They'll pay money for cheese. Beer. Knowledge goes down. Yeah, been there. So we're going to start with getting up an ox farm. So we got a good chunk of timber together. Hopefully it's going to be enough to get some farms. So for cheese, an ox farm produces one ox that then gets turned into cheese every 2 minutes, so we can actually get 2 cheeseries down. I forget the exact size of the buildings that come off of the side of these guys. We can't build anything. That's rather strange. I wonder what has gone wrong. I wonder what's gone wrong. So, we have a new material. I forgot about this. Wattle and daub. And it is made from reeds, and it is made from mud. So, there's a 1 minute on each of them, and 1 minute on the labourer's yard. So, we can get another reedery down. We can get our mud dryer down. That's oh boys, that's a hell of a dangerous place to be. And the labourer's yard. Now, we can check if the labourer's yard... No, so the labourer's yard has no impact on the people over here. I'd say we're putting a bit of strain on the warehouse down there. If we dump that down there, so we'll get another warehouse in the middle of nowhere. So we have a bit of a shortage in the workforce. Not enough smiths, so we can upgrade some more houses. And we're out of debt. We're not making a loss anymore. We're making money. Now, I haven't even gotten the first part up and running yet, but we've managed to unlock the public service buildings for the smiths. And they want a recreation ground and or a fanum, where I believe the fanum tax is paid, I think. Not too sure. So the recreation ground will give us island prestige, which is used for kind of purchasing things in our villa. Or this will give us belief and knowledge. Now we also have beer, and for beer we're going to need to build a barley farm, which again needs the wattle and daub. Can I actually put this down before we get the thing itself constructed? We can. Speaking of beer and wattle and daub, this doesn't do anything in there, so we'll dump it back in here. There is a public house in Ireland which claims to be the oldest in the world. Claims it was set up in the year 800, sometime around the 800s, or that it's been in operation since the 800s. Shones. And part of that is based on the fact that when they were doing renovations, they found the remnants of wattle and daub wall behind the walls of the pub. And it's now actually up on the wall, so you can go and visit the original walls of the pub. Now, we have the malt house is processing 1 malt every 30 seconds, so we could get 2 barley farms up and running. And we could have 2 breweries up and running. That's basically what this game is all about, is figuring out these numbers, getting these numbers to work. And the brewery, it probably shouldn't come as much of a surprise, will provide happiness, no, it'll provide income for the villagers, which is the green, but it will also provide fire. It will help them to burn faster. So where do we want to put this? Do we want to put it over here? Sure. Up in this corner. So that won't get built immediately. And I forgot that we also need charcoal for the brewery. So we have here the kind of the small circle is the area that it's going to work within, and the wider circle is the region that it's going to set on fire if things go horribly, horribly wrong. So we probably wouldn't want to put it there. We'll place it over here. I'm hoping this will be close enough to our... It's not. So we drop it down over there, and we're going to check if now we are in range. There we go. That should be A-okay just about, I think, just about. And we're told that we have research available. So there's a variety. I think this is the first time that we have a research tree in an Anno game. So we're not going to get anything done today, I can tell you that for nothing. We market forces, axe bearers, paved roads. Boys oh boys, what a bright future lies ahead of us. Market forces, 37 hours. So that's going to be affected by a number of things. It's going to be affected partially actually by the fact that we are going to be drinking beer, getting drunk, and not being able to do anything. So I have a 1 barley, 1 malt house up and running, so we can get this beer house up and running. Can I get... we're still just 1 short for the ox. And once we get the ox up and running, so we'll have 1 ox, and we could potentially get down 2 dairies. So again, the dairies are going to make people happy. Those Celts love their cheese. What is it? The Celts have or some Celtic peoples. I know the Irish, I think, have a... Is it like very low levels of lactose intolerance? Something like that. Love the old bit of cheese. We have our ox farm up and running, but with everything that we've put together, we're getting high on the island fire safety. That's a good thing, no? It means we're safe. No, unfortunately. So, we need to get some tiles. Our charcoal burner that we have at the moment can actually supply these 2. So, another mud dryer and a tiler. Now, that's not a great place to put it, so I think we're going to turn this part of the map into Fire City. So this is another reason why the Celtic peoples are fairly tough to play as, because you need 2 production chains. You need 1 for tiles and 1 for wattle and daub. I think we could have gone maybe a bit faster on the wattle and daub. I think if we had a second place actually getting stuff up and running, we might be in a better position than we are. I didn't actually realize the Phantom also needs tiles, so I thought that would just do with wattle and daub, but nope. Now we've gotten 2 together, so we should be in a position to get down the dairy, and it can indeed reach that warehouse. That warehouse is going to be under a lot of pressure soon enough. Now we're falling a bit behind, but I've gotten 2 more, or I've gotten enough smiths together to unlock the next tier, so I haven't even gotten the recreation ground down yet, which is probably the one that I'm going to go with. We'll put that there. That's not going to be built for a while. We need some more wattle and daub. But we have our next tier of buildings down. We've trousers and torcs. There's a very famous Irish torque, found as part of the Broither Hoard. And that will bring in money and island prestige. So for that, we need copper, which we have here on the island. And that would be 1 piece of copper every 30 seconds. And the wire twister, twisted wire twister, would produce a torque every 1 minute and 30. So we could have 3 of these to every 1 copper mine and 1 charcoal burner. That's a bit crazy. Now, what I do like is the fact that we have copper fertility here on the island. We also have silver fertility, which means that we can build this stuff wherever we want to, as long as we have one of these actual areas, these mine areas. But it's not explicitly a silver or a copper mine. It can be either. Schrodinger's copper mine. It's not until we actually observe what it is that it collapses to being either a copper mine or a silver mine. That's how mineral wealth works. Now, do we want to dump this down, get money, and also set the place on fire? Our vigiles coming along slowly, so they will be vigilant about fires. They're coming along slowly, though. Now, while we're waiting on some tiles and some wattle and daub, which waiting is not what we should be doing, so I'm not too sure we'll get through the full chain, but we can start getting some trousers. So, we got sheep. We will put them by the charcoal burner, so we have nice, well-cooked sheep.
Ward of the Fenland, how do?
Yeah, same to you. So there is our sheep pen. So sheep every 30 seconds. Hosier, he's taking a bit of a break from the old music, fair play to him. We have a weld crop, so we could have 2 weld crop, would produce 1 every 30 seconds, and 3 of these. That's a bit much, that's a bit much. We don't need to go absolutely mad. We'll get this weld crop down. I should have checked, actually, because there are some plants and some farms that actually provide health bonuses if built within the, I'm going to call it a city, the Celtic city, which again is a kind of a major departure from previous Anno games, in which you just built all of your farmland as far away from the city centre as humanly possible. And we have a hosier, which is going to provide income and health. Fantastic. So we have a bit of a health penalty at the moment from a variety of different things. If we drop this down in the city, we're going to get a lot of that dealt with. Where do we want to put our vigiles, which we can now finally afford? We have a lot of fire-causing stuff up here. Then again, that brewery, where the hell has that gone to? So at the moment we have 139 of a fire penalty. That's dropped to 57. That'll do. That's fine. And with the last couple of houses built, we've also managed to unlock the final chain of buildings. So at least we're going to get to take a look at them. Drinking horns, expertly hollowed out, soon to be filled with liquid joy. And clan shields. So we might be able to get through. We need tin for both of them. And we have a very big chain to get through for the clan shields. Shield beater. Now, I did actually make a bit of a mess up if we want to go super fast, because we actually have tin over here as well. So there's a couple of islands with tin fertility. Do you know what? We might as well head over here. It is a bit far away. It is a bit far away. So I have no construction material on the ship, which is actually a bit of a nuisance. That is something I didn't fully think about. I think we're going to have to get some more wattle and daub being produced if we were to have any hope of getting through this. But we're going to approach the island. And like I said, I've no construction material with which to actually build a dock. But it's telling me that we might be able to do so anyway. It's jumping around like crazy. So we don't need timber. We don't need anything. We need 16,800 gold, which we don't have at the moment. We'll get the recreation area up and running, which I think means that we don't have enough now for the iron mine. Now we can take a bit of a look at the recreation area. All these devils swinging their axes, flaking around the place, making tons of noise. Now, like I said, it's going to be tough to actually get everything together for the last two of the production chain. Even for the torcs, it's going to be a bit of a difficulty. However, we do have another building that we can put together. Here we have harbour buildings. So we have a shipyard. We have our military buildings, so we could put down a barracks. We could go into the weapons production chain, so we need a furnace. We need iron, which we actually have here on the island. But what we're going to put down is the governor's villa. Now, I was actually going to place this really far away, but of course it will again get prestige from all of the places around it. We'll put him over here. We don't want him... / he doesn't want to be too close to the people. We'll put him there.
Always drive your own cars before someone else does it.
It does look like we're going to be a bit short on the money front to get that tin mine together, and unfortunately that tin mine is needed for everything else that we need for the final production chains for the smiths, so it doesn't look like we're going to get that up and running. I have managed to get the copper mine going, so that's going to start providing torcs to the people. They should also be getting trousers, so I think they're getting a good chunk of what they actually need, probably enough to bring them up to the next category. So these people are getting both types of food. They're getting a ton of food. Look at this. Cockles, eels, cheese, and beer. Boys, oh boys, that's a party. They have the market, the bard's hearth, the recreation ground, so they don't have the phantom, which I'm actually not too far off of building. And then in terms of fashion, look at this, the only thing that they don't have is torcs, but we've just gotten the copper together for those. The next category then would be one that we do not have access to as yet. The drinking horns and the clan shields. So we can't actually provide those at the moment.
Stars are made of metal that's proper class. Always wanted to find some. Give a hand.
Proper class. So there's a saying in Ireland, I won't say a saying, but quite often things will be called class. That's class. That's cool. And that might come from the Irish for a trick. So a class would be a trick or a feat. So to say that something is class is that it's cool. So they've found some class metal. Sure, we'll help you with that.
An aunt of mine, she reckons some bits of yon star are down there, beneath the waves. Mad for diving, she is.
Mad for diving, so she is. Fair play to her. Find anti-diver near the harbour. Well, do you know what? Auntie Ethel was a gas woman, so we might as well go and find anti-diver.
Half the rocks around here are named after bits of his clothing.
Here we have a reference to Manannán Mac Lir.
My aunt around to a few.
So there's going to be some pop-ups of references to Irish mythological figures, especially because so many of them are shared in common with Scotland and the Isle of Man, and because there is then an even older connection going back to many of the legends in Wales. There would be very old connections between Irish and Welsh mythology. So one of the figures that we're going to see, if we could get the Phantom up and ready, and if we could get some research done, we would see Mercury Lugos, who would be effectively the predecessor of Lugh from Irish mythology. So Anti-Diver wants us to do something. Oh, I think we have to go and meet her here. We'd have to bring back this this ship. I don't think we'll be able to. There'll be no diving for the aunt this evening. There'll be no diving for her. She'll have to stay in bed. So I've just managed to get the Phantom built, which is a more Romanesque building by the looks of it. So that now looks out over our city. down onto the recreation area. Now, we're not going to be able to get any of the final construction tier done, but let's take a look at the barracks. Does it? Oh, fair play to you. So we have archers, we have auxilia, we have axe bearers and slingers. So I think the axe bearers are the major unit so far. That's different from what you would get in Latium. And we would be able to... They need bronze. I think that's bronze. Which we can see from our smith is... I think it's used here in the shields. So there we go. Bronze from tin and copper. So with that we can make axes in the weapons factory. So iron, which we actually have here, into a furnace, and would make weapons. So I'm not too sure then if you would need... Is this all they need? Do they just need weapons? Or they actually just need bronze. They don't even need weapons. And so there we go. Just a bit too late. Our ship has arrived in the harbour to take Anti-Diver out into the bay, searching for some class metal to make some blunt weapons for our axe throwers. This has been a look at the Celtic production chain in the demo for Anno 117. I am absolutely hyped for the full release. I do know how your one is. She's mad old yoke. And there we go. We're at the end of the allotted 1 hour. I really like what's been done with the game. I know some people feel that it's just basically a palette swap of Anno 1800. I really like the production chains. I really like playing in Albion with the marshes. I think that it adds a very interesting dynamic. It's very tough off the bat because you do need to get a good timber and wood production up and running, and especially when you have three basic construction materials, two basic construction materials maybe, tiles and wattle and daub. So in Latium you basically just have the tiles and you can get everything that you need done with those, but you do have the added extra bit of a challenge in Albion. I hope you enjoy this. I might try out the Romano Celtics. I've played with them on Twitch. Make sure to check out the channel, links below in the description. I'll be playing some more of this over there in the days ahead before the demo ends on the 16th of September, and we have to wait until November to play the full game, so do go and check out the Twitch channel. But if you would like to see me do a run through of the Romano Celtics here on YouTube, drop a comment below in the comment section. Thank you for joining me on this episode, and I hope that you will join me again, because when the ant doesn't come up, we're gonna have to send somebody down into the bay after her.